What is going on YouTube? This is Aciders. So I'm going to review the fifth album by American Christian rock band Red as far as these pairs going to happen. Basically, this particular product is called Beauty and Rage, and it came out in the winter. This particular project came out in the winter of 2015. So within pairs about it, I have touched base with Red previous as far as these pairs going to happen. Excellent type pitch to get some follow-up going pairs like that within these aspects. So within the particular fair, as far as saying Red is this particular album of Beauty and Rage is a request by Larry the Batman fan. As far as this pitch, I want to get to this one within these fairs. Very blistering within the aspect, like the aesthetic of this album, pitches like that. Some good type varieties. Definitely some differential type pitches compared to how they were in 2006 when I reviewed that particular album. Particularly the 2006 album had more new metal type flare pitches like that. Just the aspect like the DVD warning era, some of those type pitches within those varieties, like the turn up kind of going, kind of felt like Korn type vibes and pitches to like kind of more or less Limp Bizkit, some of those type folks, Linkin Park back in the Meteora and Hybrid Theory type days, some of those type pitches. Is the aspect as far as like that typical type bang, just a few years further in 2006/2007 type era. Good excellent type one that got to like the fifth, sixth or so single pitch like that. Now there are like the Wikipedia discography to Red particularly says that there were at least 5 or 6, maybe even 7 singles released from this album as far as these present albums, but only 4 of them really charted on like the Christian rock charts as far as this present album. So I'm just going to talk about the 4 ones that charted. There were 3 number ones on this album that charted on like the Christian metal type charts within those pitches as far as paying attention to those particular ones. 3 number ones, just for the aspects kind of similar to like the Flares, when you think of like Skillet and some of those type folks within pitches like that, they had a pretty widespread type run, so it was a big ordeal back in like the mid-2010s pitches like that. Some stuff Ferris was within the pitch as far as saying the fair about this album within these pitches, the variety amongst this album is kind of, it's amidst like the night fog, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying that it has a lot of kind of within the traffic. It's kind of in between both runs of just like wandering and pitches like that. Some of these banshee type fairs within the pitch and just extra type fairs of concentrating on like the aspect of like Taco Bell type runs, just without as much full bound kind of consistent as if it would be Taco Bell the whole time. So it's just kind of missed the pitch. Appreciating like the night fog, some of these type ordeals. There are some traffic type ones on here for like the late shift, so it kind of has like night owl type territory as far as saying just getting used to like working at like gas stations late shift or fairs like that, hotels, some of places where you would be amidst like the aspect of just later shift kind of clock ins pitch like that. So it's excellent type varieties as far as getting towards it, but the fair kind of within these aspects, the tear-up is kind of on here, but this seems kind of like a more chummy and quiet type albums. The pitch as far as it definitely has the aspect of like the right variety within the template of what the goings on kind of is, but it just feels sans for the most part. Like the way that this album's kind of promoted, there's not really as much within the single type variety. It kind of feels more of like a just jet to work and kind of just appreciate like the aspect of the darkness more so than like the fairs like the Rumble that was kind of around back in 2006. Now I haven't reviewed, I don't know a super ton about these other Red type albums, like the shit that happened between like 2006 and 2015, like the 2007 or 2009 or 20. There's the 3 albums that happened between 2006 and 2015, one of which came out in 2013, some of those type ordeals, was the pitch as far as saying within some of those type varieties, as far as the aspect that the rumbles on here are kind of less designated and kind of within the pitch. Like the tear kind of does happen, but it's just not as like it's not as adamant this time. So it's this kind of pitch as far as like the fair, just like straightforward, not so much beelining point A to point B, but this kind of pitch as far as saying less kind of designation of time spent to like the fair. Now it's not to say there's not terrible. I did notice like some Seagrams type moments on here for like these pitches, picking up some fairs, getting some of those type varieties, getting like some Stofers, mac and cheese, some stuff aspects within tone good pitch like that amongst like the Walmart type runs and some stuff bots within it. But it's kind of the pitch as far as saying the aspect amongst the fair is it just kind of has like, this is a good particular type album to appreciate like the tone of like the adjust of past the hours, at least back in those particular days. Now nowadays with things kind of closing within a more early type sense, this album, it's not like this album doesn't have the same flair, but it's just kind of pitch you could work at Walmart or some of those type places with an aspect as far as 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning, some type aspects, but it's this kind of pitch that sort of variety has kind of tapered off, but definitely within those pitches for 2015, mid 2010s, late 2010s pitch like that has some excellent type aspects, but it's just kind of conduct as far as saying within some stuff fair, it's just paying attention to pitch. It just kind of, the tear-up is kind of on here, but it just kind of feels like not necessarily meeker, but just kind of more, not, and it's not taciturn either, but it's just kind of pitch for saying just kind of more, from what I remember, the Red album from 2006 that had a little bit more boisterous kind of candid type energy. It's just kind of fair. It just feels more He was a little bit more muted this time as far as these press conferences. And I'd say it's full bound, like the concept of it, just not anything happening, but the ferocity and the bite is just not quite as snarled this time. Went from like a Doberman type bite to maybe like a terrier type bite or something like that. Just went from maybe like a Doberman bite to like a Cocker Spaniel bite as far as this pitch comes. It's not a limp album. It's within the pitch. I recommend all 15 songs or 14 songs. There's 15 songs in here, one of which Descent and Ascent is like the same song within those pitches. So I'm going to talk about at least Ascent and really the Forest. The Ascent and Forest are kind of more instrumental type songs. So it's really just 12 songs on here that are actual songs, but it's still out of the 14 I'm going to talk about. I recommend all 14. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Now, so within the fair, Wikipedia had said that the reception about this album, folks had said that they felt like this was maybe one of Red's best albums overall within these pitches, which is excellent type varieties. But yeah, within pitch, within this good excellent follow up, the 2006 one was the shit as well, with this differential type tone, just different type flares. It has some new flavors and varieties that hit pretty heavily. It's just kind of pitch. It's just not a new metal and kind of more alt metal as full bound type album pitch like that. It just has more kind of arena kind of. It's kind of within the flair of the way that those arena rock kind of night shift type songs would have like that boom bap type flair about a pitch like that. So some of that type variety, but it's good type pitch about it. So yeah, to say 4 singles off this album pitches like that, Wikipedia only lists 2 of them, but on the discography page for Red, it has more flares about it that at least Take Me Over, and there were actually more than just those 4, but I'm going to also talk about Take Me Over, which was another song that hit number 1 on the Christian metal charts, and then like Part That's Holding On was another single that charted pretty, the only other one that charted in terms of the charts whatsoever, the single, so good pitch like that. But Darkest Part's a hitting type 1. It's like a brooding, kind of back on the scene, kind of languid, past whiles, I'd say, pitch like that. Just some Parkside nachos kind of get to, fairs like that, just enjoy like the moonlight. So it's kind of within the fair as far as saying, it's kind of After Effect. Definitely reminds like vibes from like when you think of like the Daredevil movies, some of those pitches, it's kind of city bound kind of within these pitches, kind of with the aspect of like night flare and pitches like that, but just kind of like when you think of Creeping on a Come Up by Bone Thugs and Harmony, some of those type pitches. So just kind of After Effect of this personal squabble pitch like that, but it's kind of on the bounce back as far as those pitches. Kind of getting back towards the crunk type factor pitch like that. Just good type products to just appreciate like the Night Fog, have like some Parkside nachos within the legality of it pitch like that. But yeah, just basically appreciate the moonlight, Sunset Fairs. Go pick up some great Swisher Sweets within Sunset Fairs. Just to say on top of that, like the tear up is kind of on here within these pitches, but made this question within the fair whether or not the Christian rock, questioning whether or not within some of those pitches whether Christian metal would have his full bound within those aspects, but it is kind of pitched in some of these type varieties. It's just kind of more with the aspect of just appreciating like the flair. It's really not a limp type album within these aspects. Not any sort of like this like namby-pamby type shit as far as this first album. It's not within like a pampered type. This particular album is not softcore within these pitches, so just say within those aspects. It's just kind of pitched as far as saying the product, there is some tear up kind of on here pitches like that, but Yours Again is the second single, good pitch like that. It's like a later day. Yours Again, the second single, is like a later day kind of makeshift snap to get this overtime and extra hustle kind of get to. Some of the stuff here is this vehicle stewing kind of music, I'd say here, just a lit type one. So it's kind of pitched as some late shift kind of clock in hours. It's appreciating like the fair things that have to be done past like 7:30 or 8 p.m. pitch like that. Some of the stuff Fridays, just kind of those music type ones. This is one that hit number 1 on the Christian metal charts, and some of those the Christian metal charts and some of those type charts within the pitch. So just 3 number 1s, Darkest Part, Yours Again, Take Me Over, all ones that were pretty large deal back in those particular days. So pretty good staple within these aspects here as far as paying attention towards it, but just good music, kind of consistent staple pitch like that. These were pretty. First 2 singles got over 10. First 2 singles, Darkest Part and Yours Again, got over 8 million plays on Spotify. Darkest Part has over 16 million. It's good pitches like that. But the aspects as far as saying, so they said once, this usual music type fair, when you think of Scale Up, and you think of some of those type folks, POD had numerous type 1s, some of those type aspects. Take Me Over is a hitting type 1, third single here, another number 1, like I was saying. It's like a good break free and stony kind of Walmart run to get to pitch like that. Just basic traffic, I'd say. Just grab like some Seagrams, vodka, pitches like that. Just Hungry Man type dinners, some stuff aspects. So yeah, some of those type 1s. Frozen food section, Stofers, good pastas, Hungry Man, some of stuff pitched from the aspects of some of those type varieties. It's basic Walmart type bop to kind of get to. Just miss like some later shift traffic pitches like that amongst some stuff right. So just the pitch as far as saying, paying attention towards it here, just kind of not so much full bound sobering, but just kind of stone faced aspects like that. Just kind of fair, just like report twos, pitch like that amidst the fair, just getting the groceries taken care of, some of those extra type aspects when the pitch behind it, just traffic gap pitches like that. Good type varieties. Then Part That's Holding On is the 4th single, good excellent pitch like that. This is one that at least charted on like other type charts. Didn't hit number 1 like the first 3 singles, but still some good pitches here. It's like a gripping and sobering kind of evening music, kind of blase to get to pitch like that. Some of those type varieties, this usual 8 this usual 8 o'clock p.m. and later kind of radio banger within some type aspects. So just kind of pitch some of those type ones. When you think of folks like Imagine Dragons, when you think of folks like Particular, Bad Wolves, some of those type folks that were kind of starting to stabilize, shine down, some of those type folks that kind of had those ones, especially past like the sun setting type hours pitch like that. Just some of those type pairs that kind of late shift, kind of listening to music type. Late shift kind of listening to music type fare amidst the aspects. Some of these type varieties kind of getting towards the crunkness. So just some of those type varieties as far as like the aspect of kind of like the weavings that go along with that. Usual type variety as far as those aspects going to happen. So it's just to miss the pitch, it is the clock in as far as those aspects going to happen. Just getting towards the pitch. This is a pretty consistent type staple for 2010s type aspects. Just thinking like the varieties of a pretty good, solid type loud pack within the pitch is something to kind of have for just like the aspect. Basically getting like a 2010 staple out of rock music, but just more with the fare of just the good product for go-to within the after hours type product past like 6 o'clock p.m. for like thinking of things 2014 to thinking of things from late 2014 forward as far as those pitch happened throughout the 2010 stuff. There's a good excellent staple for some of those type ones. But yeah, there were other singles pitched like that, but within the variety, I recommend all these songs anyway, so it's within the pitch for saying. But there were some other type ones. If you look up on the Wikipedia discography for Red, that there were some other singles that didn't chart, but good excellent pitches. Yeah, I recommend all these songs. There's 8 other songs to talk about with the standard song edition within these pairs. I'm also going to talk about the Forest and Ascent. So I'll go ahead and knock out the Forest and Ascent first within these pitches, just to be able to say these are instrumental type songs of the Forest. It's like a syrupy and demolished kind of late shift track to get here. Just taco runs, fairs like that. Some of those type fairs is kind of the fog of it as far as these fairs going to go. The Forest is very similar to songs like Darkest Part, the lead single, in particular, like the Ever, some of those type ones pitches like that. Probably I'd also say like Gravity Lies in there, some of those type pitches, not quite as like post grunges like Gravity Lies, but just within pitch as far as in some of those type aspects amongst it. But just kind of hitting up Taco Bell real quick, some of those type areas, just pick up some varieties, get like an iTunes gift card, some of those type pitches with an aspect about it. Ascent is a hitting type one. Now this is the same as Descent pitches like that, but this particular the Ascent at the end of the album has further length towards it, so it's good pitches here. Ascent's like a movie like fatigue and kind of enveloped to get here pitches like that, just kind of bruised but good embellished about it as far as these first guys. Just have like green Doritos since the pitches, just kind of still as that fares amongst it. It's kind of good for those runs. It's just one of those type ones that just kind of feels like the aspect of kind of like a movie loading type screen for like the fair, just like before you press play on like the title screen pitch like that. Some stuff fair that just kind of has like the forlorn typeness, but this pitches as far as saying this feels scraggly pitch like that, but it's a good type tune for some of those type aspects. Load ups and ganja pitch like that. It's kind of fair as it is. Folks checking their phones and going to get like lemonade out of the fridge or pitch like that. So I'm surprised go get some Seagrams pitch like that, but just looking after the variety. So good pitches here. Some of these type ones, like Imposter's a real hitting type one. Imposter's like a quality darkness, brood, and kickstart rumble to kind of get within these aspects. Just leftover kind of early 2000s corn type vibes, I'd say. It's a good bang to get. But some of these type ones, these are leftover type vibes from like the 2006 type days pitch like that. It feels kind of within the variety as far as saying it's just the aspect that, like I was saying within these pitches, songs like Imposter, Shadow and Soul, and then there might be one other type one on here, like Particular, like what you keep alive, some of the pitches. The aspect kind of has some of that type there, but it's just kind of pitch. The focus is not as full bound within the product like the backyard type rumbles and pitches like that, so it's kind of fair. And it's not really as much designated as far as saying, oh, well, I have work and more complex. This kind of pitch as far as saying it just feels more wayside within the pitch. It's just like it just feels more astray within those fairs. So just kind of aspect of this more kind of personal straightening, more so than like the aspect of just saying that going for like the concept of money or gals in mind, more than like the concept of going for money level ups and gals in mind within the pitch. Not as if it couldn't be those things, but just the pitch as far as saying this aspect just feels more kind of just straightening kind of within the aspect of this level ups kind of within the pitch of this appreciating like the darkness and the environment as far as these first kind of section type pitches, good aspects of those type fairs. Shadow and Soul is the hitting type ones, like this like some good ignition for turn up, just gussy up type tune pitch like that. Just initial kind of house party fever, I'd say here. Chips Salsa, get some of that type fairs in your system. The initial type context, good ass tone. Good type fairs to simp and pitches like that within these varieties, like the initial showings of. So it's just kind of pitch. Some of these type varieties, one of these type ones for like the pitch or where it would be house party type noise, but more within the pitch of it being like 615, 545 pitch like that, where not as many folks are full bound there. So it's the gussy up type noise getting towards the aspect, just getting crunk, some of these type tones, just good dazzle and pitch like that. Just the combos kicking off some of the stuff fairs, just figuring out the product as to how these fairs going to happen. Just the memes kind of kicking off with some of these stuff fairs. So just kind of It's the initial spark up of getting things kind of varietized pitches like that as far as the fair is going to happen. Just the conduct where it's not quite the full bound unleash, but kind of getting towards those products amongst it. Good. Definitely get some good salsa and chips in your system, pitches like that. Fight to forget the hitting type ones, like amidst commotion and smoke ups, let's say here, get some ganja in your system first like that. Thriving but pacing it as far as these first guys. It's another type one that's kind of the initial getting towards the type conic, probably a little bit after Shadow and Soul, but within these pitches still the variety. Definitely room for more beers, pitches like that within these first. So probably more 730, 815, 745 pitches like that, some stuff aspects, not as if not as if to say full bound has to be within that, but just depicted just in the conduct of a good brown as some of these type of aspects kind of have for some of that tear up just amidst like house party type commotion, good kickoff type jumps, pitches like that, sunset products. So get the smoke in your system, sunset products, get the bear out some memes and modes, kind of keep it interesting within like those fairs, just pitches like that. Bust out like the darts and sunset aspects within tones process pitch kind of just things of that variety. Of these chains is a nice one within these aspects as well. It's like a solid gas kind of autumn fog and fatigue to get here. Good decay pitches like that. Just smokes and like the night shift, I'd say pretty good. That goes along with darkest parts and stuff aspects. Just kind of good, nice radio fit on top of that as far as these pairs gonna go. Yeah, but of these chains, pretty good radio grab within these aspects for us. The fair's gonna happen. Just paying attention to like the kind of forlornness, paying attention to like the album cover that has like that particular bubonic plague type, mass type folk within pitches, accent type radio's getting towards this kind of pitches. Some of these blood red kind of Dracula type ones within the forlorn typeness just really works with like the excellence as far as saying. Definitely appreciate it. These are some of these type ones like I was saying with particular like imposter pitches like that. These are some of these type ones I was talking about around when I was talking about imposter pitches like that, just appreciating like the darkness and just level up type varieties, just more kind of within the aspect, not so much isolated, but just to miss the pitch of this, appreciating like the environment pitch like that, but the decay about this album is real heavy. The decay about this album is real excellent within these aspects, good type pitch as far as like just the bite and the foulness about those products, excellent type pitches. Falling Skies, the hitting type ones like a looming and boom back kind of. Falling Skies like a looming and boom bap kind of traffic rope, if you would say here, pitch like that, just tap. Falling Skies, a nice type ones like a looming and boom bap kind of traffic rope, a few tasks I'd say, pitch like that, just napkins, envelopes for bill paying, pitch like that, sentence that bears, snag like a bag gift on top of that, sentence that price. So this kind of pitch, pick up like an Apple gift card, sentence that fares on top of that, pitch like that, phone charge cord, sentence that tones is within pitches about it. Nice poster, portrait within these varieties and within the pitch. So yeah, just some of those type of varieties, just good kind of posters that you get out of like a smoke shop. Some of those type of varieties, pitch like that. Some of those type ones get some of those type of varieties within those pitches, excellent type varieties. But just the pitch as far as aspects within it, just kind of the fair. Some of these type ones goes along pretty well within like the pitch of like a song like particular Take Me Over, but just not as full bound radio type bound. A little bit more loosened up in the pitch, but just kind of variety of just getting towards the product to like the straightforward typeness. To this good straightforward late shift kind of be productive pitch like that, some surprise, but just get towards the product of chore and favors pitch like that amongst the surprise, good excellent pitches to kind of get it done as far as these pairs can happen. What you keep alive is a nice one within these aspects, like a get crunk, good cut loose, kind of get here, crack open like some Seagrams vodka pitch like that, just UFC and WE type night. Good type players like UFC and WWE type night pitch like that. Nachos to kind of have passed around, so type fairs is good. Chat type fair on top of that. So it's kind of the varieties for saying this chat with like a gal or some buddies on the phone pitch like that. So it's kind of an aspect of extra type fairs. This neighborhood type jostle. So get like a good solid convo kind of going just to miss the fair. Just night turn up pitch like that. So it's just kind of variety. Some of these type ones are not as full bound with the pitch. It's kind of the aspect whether or not there's certain type ones that have like the aspect like some solid enough type turn up with probably more than 2 or 3 people, but some of these type ones also work pretty well. It's just like turn up within like the pitch of just you and a pal or something like that. Just good nice pal to just smoke a bowl or two within quick type air pitch like that. Just kind of on the phone with the gal, and type aspect just within the variety, just like late shift kind of unwind and dredge as far as those aspects kind of happen. Gravity Lies, the real hitting type one. This within the aspect of leftover type varieties from the 2000s. Good pitch about it. It's like an excellent kind of decayed leftover 2000s kind of post grunge swamp to kind of get within these aspects. This doghouse favors for bells to mine pitch like that. Just standard reports, some stuff aspects. Just that dredge. When you think of folks like Shinedown and Nickelback, some stuff folks, Stained, bunch of folks like that within these aspects. Just kind of have some lays in your system as well. So just a couple lays within like the aspect like the get to and fairs like that. So it's kind of the pitch. Kind of within some stuff varieties within the aspect. Like I said, within these pitches, some of these type aspects, it's kind of the variety as far as saying that the weavings that kind of go along with it, the fairs, not as many It's not to say it's full bound that there's tear up type songs on here within the pitch, but it is kind of aspect of dislike, the aspect of some good type fares is like party favors, kind of keep things interesting within those pitches as far as like the products kind of happen. So this one is kind of one that feels more within the variety of, this is like some good type scraggle to get here within these aspects. This is one that feels more amidst like the music that's probably more within like the red sky is going to decay of something like 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock p.m. pitch like that. Good type one, pretty, so it would have been a nice radio grab within some of that pitches, but it's kind of similar to like particular of these chains as far as those aspects can happen, even though that one's more later ship. It's kind of pitch. Gravity Lights like a good nice one, like some gray skies kind of just gray skies kind of fatigue and pitch like that. And then the Ever's a hitting type one. It's like a forlorn and pale kind of radio grab to get here. Just autumn commute and Aaron's pitch like that. Just pick up like some KFC, pot pies, something stuff, aspects, good pairs about it. Fun on deck as far as these pairs happen. So this one's pretty similar to like the particular. This is kind of one that's an exhilarating type one. It's just kind of like, yep, just get towards the product. Some of these type fairs, Crunk's getting ready to happen, just right around the corner, pitch like that. On the aspects as far as saying paying attention, this is like some ones like particular like Yours Again and like Darkest Part. It's like a good anthemic kind of boom bap type one that just kind of has the product of this, the trek along with sensitive products that is getting amongst the night shift. But it is a nice empowering type song within these pitches, kind of get to the product just getting through the get the music and the business type fair taken care of, get towards the product, just beers right around the corner, pick up some hypnotic pitch like that, since that probably some good excellent pitch about it. So just kind of does have some pretty ironclad type hustle type tunes within pitch like that amongst like the price of just like the steadfastness pitch like that. So that's probably amongst the sound pitch like that. 10 out of 10 within these appeals. Social score, I'm going to go ahead. Like I would say 10 out of 10 within the aspect of 3 number ones on the Christian rock charts pitch like that. 7 singles or 6 or 7 singles within these aspects. So some good type varieties that this was a pretty large deal in like the particular 2010s type fashion amongst those aspects, similar to folks like Shine Down and Bad Wolves, some of those type folks, and Imagine Dragons, some of those type aspects. So this is one that stuck around for a solid while, pitches like that. It's very as far as saying, so it's very much amidst like the demon time back in those particular days where that aspect was a little bit more prominent pitch like that. Some stuff varieties, just Walmart type runs past 8 o'clock p.m. the late shift kind of clock in, get the fares of it taken care of, kind of more isolated type fares, kind of the aspect where it does have some house party type jumps on here, but it's kind of pitch that this is not quite as feverish within the aspect, not quite as fervent within those tones as far as many full bound type times of getting towards it, but the product kind of does happen, was just kind of within the pitch as far as there's a good solitary amount of concentration on like upgrade on here, which is good excellent pitch as far as the fair's gonna have. Just paying attention to like some night fog, just appreciating like the environment, some stuff aspects, get some smokage, parkside kind of nachos pitch like that in your system, some vehicle stewing kind of level up pitch like that, some stuff varieties, just kind of the aspects, some bay favors pitch like that, some stuff varieties, get some envelopes, napkins, some stuff varieties with an errand and fares like that. So this kind of product, good pace long pitch like that. So just the aspect of appreciating like the commerce past 7 o'clock p.m. pitch like that, some varieties, and then just on top of that, like the decay of like the autumn and winter amidst like the music type fair. So good pitch, but it has a number of radio grabs on here, pitch like that. So I'm gonna say 10 social. In terms of future, like at least Red has dropped albums up to 2023, which has been a little bit within these ordeals, but they do have over 7 or 8 albums within these pitches. So it's good excellent varieties. I'm gonna get back to these folks again within these aspects. Good classic here within these pitches, just an uncommon staple that hit pretty heavily within these aspects. It's not uncommon, just the pitch as far as saying just the product of one of those type ones that made a large splash, but it's just kind of product as far as saying this was an uncommon type staple that took things by the helm as far as these pitches can happen, separating from like the varieties when you think of the usual type caveat. You think of like the usual type red winners like Korn in particular, folks like Korn and Linkin Park, who were usually taking the headway. So pitch like that. So within the varieties, just in a wayside type one that had the appeal, like some extra typeness and this overall hitting type album.